Okay, I'm excited to be launching Barcraft Conversations with my main man, Les. We like to have a good time.
Spread the good vibes, but I just want to ask, what's up with that shirt?
We gotta do it right, Barcraft Conversations. You know, we got merch now. But that is something that you have done that's been really popular, and people tend to pull up on you and ask you the soup of the day.
Everybody knows the Super Day. Super Day has been, will always be, and currently still is Jameson. Very popular with the Irish.
Yeah.
It comes in a nice little glass bowl.
Ooh.
Would you like the soup real quick?
Definitely, I would always enjoy soup.
2 soups real quick.
Oh, that's better.
No, it's a lot better, man,
Yeah, cheers.
Here.
Sponsored by,
Tap water,
like I said, this is the official first kickoff of Barcraft Conversations, the pilot episode, because if you don't know, you need to know, and you're about to find out. One of the great things about this podcast, it makes you really think, how can we build a situation where people actually enjoy coming to work, where it transcends from the time they come into work to actually servicing a customer and getting off. I was reading a statistic saying that the average person works around 8,000 hours a year, and they only have around 2,000 hours of leisure time. I would say it's safe to say that you probably know them better than your loved ones. And if you spend that much time with people, I think you should have a good work environment where you actually enjoy being there. Who wants to be in a miserable job? To me, what brings that even more valuable to being in the bar and restaurant industry is that when people get off work, they actually come to spend time with you. You have that brief moment of time to interact with this person and give them a great experience. Or they could have a bad experience. One of the things that we talked about is like family meal. That's one of those times where people can sit down, experience some of the food, maybe some new things maybe coming onto the menu. Without getting too much into the details of that.
A positive work environment. Yeah, no, I agree with you said family meal. That's where people sit down just eating together. It's like with your family and stuff, like how important it is just eating dinner at the table with your family. And doing that as a restaurant too, that's where you can talk about disagreements, talk about things people are doing good. I think it's just important, running a restaurant, being there, just people like to say giving people their flowers, but just showing that you appreciate the people that are on your staff. I had an old football coach who's like, listen, you do 98% of the things right, but the 2% of the things you do wrong, I gotta tell you. So it's like, just because I'm telling you that you're doing something wrong doesn't mean you do everything wrong. You just hear the negative, but you do everything else right. So but I'm not gonna praise you for doing something you're supposed to do.
That's true.
But when you do something wrong, I have to let you know. It's a balance because, I'm not one of those people that like to just give people pats on the back or participation awards, all that stuff, but it is important giving people, some people need that, It's like, hey, and it could be little things like, hey, that table, I like how you did that table. You had 12 top right there, no complaints, you got it, boom, that was great, When you have a disgruntled customer or something like that, and, you sit there and just diffuse it. I mean, this is hilarious. Like, I didn't even tell you about this today. I just stopped by Pickles, sitting there, a guy comes in, and I'm like, RJ, I think there's a homeless dude just walked in. I think he's about to start asking people for money. So he comes in, he pulls out an iPhone. I said, no. I say he's not homeless. He just dressed. And then he goes in, he's like, let me get a cup of ice water. And we're like, oh. And then he's like, let me use your bathroom. I'm like, oh, nope. Homeless. So he goes in the bathroom, 30 seconds goes by, and RJ's like, hey man, I got a couple tables over there. Like, would you mind going in the bathroom real quick? Just to be like, just make sure he's not taking a shower, and because homeless people go in there and they start bathing.
We had that.
We had that happen. Marcus, I go in the bathroom. Guess what my man's doing?
What?
Trying to smoke crack. I'm like, yo. I'm like, you can't do that. He was like, oh my boy, player. I said, no, don't hit me with no old slip dude line. He's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave. I said, you gotta leave. Crack at 2:00 on a Saturday is wild.
Oh man.
And RJ just comes, he's like, listen man, I appreciate that. And I know we're a team, I wasn't on the clock or anything over there, but it was just one of those things. He was like, I know we appreciate that. And I know that's an extreme example, but it's just those things is like that.
Barcraft Conversations. You can't make this up.
No, dude was just doing crack in the bathroom. Again, talking about just giving positive feedback and just paying attention to people and stuff. Everybody's not having a good day all the time. And I'm a firm believer. It's like, I don't care what's happening. When you clock in, you smile and we can talk about it. But as the person steering the ship, it's your job. Andrew is having a rough day. So maybe, Andrew, maybe you just hop off the table, say you do service bar. You know, you get that going, you got service bar going that. Or, you know, somebody just had like, you know, a death in the family or just something crazy. But so it's just paying attention to the staff. And it comes back to the family meal because that's when you can talk about stuff like that. Everybody's not always going to get along. No. And you don't need everybody to get along. But at the end of the day,
it should be some type of mutual respect there where it's like, I'm having a bad day. Would you mind helping me pick up a little bit of slack? Or I just need a couple minutes to decompress, to go over to the corner and, you know, just get myself together so I could be reboot and make sure that we are being the best versions of ourselves.
Go take a walk, go. You can go home. You're like, no, you could just be hungover. I mean, I've had several hungover shifts in my life, and I go in there, I'm like, hey guys, I'm done right now. I can't give you 30 today, you know? But, you know, I'll play some defense. I'll wipe some tables off, and it's at the end of the day, it's all about just getting the W. I don't care if we win by 100, we win by 2, but we have to win. Right? We ain't taking no L's. We're not taking L's right now, man.
Not at all.
Just knowing your role. Can't be Brian every day, but you gotta lace those. You gotta cop on the court though.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you hop in the bench. You have an early game, but
definitely.
You know, good work environments is very important, and it's also just hiring good people. We've learned. You know, you don't want to hire crash outs. You know, everybody's good and stuff. Like, I don't want somebody that's going to give me, you know, if 10's being the happiest and 0's being, you know, crash out. Yeah. Like, I don't need you to be a 10 all day. No. I'd rather take that person that's a 7 every single day. Because the highs are highs, but the lows are lows. We can't do the lows because the lows mess up. You never know who's walking in, and you're out here. Like we have examples of people crashing out, and we hear from regulars, they tell us this, and like, hey man, like, you know, if we weren't supporting you, we would never come back there because of the way that person was treating us. Oh, man. And that happens in places all the time. But again, be aware of your emotions. Yeah. And, you know, but that goes back with training and stuff. You just...
Can we get another shot?
Oh, another soup?
Yeah, another soup.
Soup of the day, you already know. Bam.
So now, speaking of crash outs and soups, you know, there's a thing where you have something called a dry bar.
Oh, yeah.
That's sort of where I was going with like...
I didn't even cut you off. Since we're talking about dry, let's also give another shout out to, you know what's not dry? What? Our sponsor, Tap Water.
Keep you refreshed each time.
You ever been parched? Go to the sink.
Thank you, good sir.
You're welcome, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, man. Shout out to the sponsor.
Yeah. Some good tap water, man. Mm-hmm. If Tap Water give us $1. I need $1 from Tap Water. Right?
First sponsor,
Tap Water.
Tap Water. It's very important to have a good sense of humor at the bar.
Oh yeah, in this industry. If not, you're gonna cry.
Yeah.
You know? And if you do cry, you cry in the walk-in.
Yes.
They can't hear it.
No. Back to being a dry bar and having shots and stuff like that, because when you do have regulars, your regulars come in, and oftentimes they want to come in and actually buy you a shot.
I buy a lot of bartender shots.
It's like a sign of appreciation. As a professional and bartender, it comes to the point where you got to sort of know your limits too.
And that's hard for a lot of people, especially just going. I'm guilty. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've been really, really lit behind the bar. Yeah. You actually helped me on 2 of those one-hand times. Eagles on the Super Bowl. That was a rough day.
Yeah, no, it was a celebration.
We passed inspection. Yeah. That was a rough day, but it takes a village though. We run the understanding that I could not drop 50 today. You know, I tore my ACL in the second quarter, and I was out. A good way to capitalize that, and I tell people just take baby shots. Yeah. But like you also can't take 25 baby shots because that's like 12 real shots. You can't take shots with everybody. Mm-mm. You want to, especially if you're a popular bartender, everybody's pulling up on you. You can't do it with everybody, man. No. Fake shots. I'm the king of a fake shot, you know. Yeah. Or take a shot of beer. Yeah. You know, give Sunkers you know, you can take 27 shots of beer, you know, but like you said, it's knowing your limits. And rule number 1 is don't fuck up the money.
When you're about to get off your shift, then it might be a time where you can take a full shot and have a couple shots. You're about to get off, you have a little bit more leeway. But if you're like in the middle of your shift and you already noticeably wasted, that's not a good look for the establishment. And it's all about community and communication, because people walk through that door, they could be literally having a bad day, and you wasted, and they come in there on some whole nonsense, it might trigger you.
Sober you, be like, you know what? Let me change my approach. But, you know, when people get drunk, you're also more emotional. You can't read the room and you say something and just escalate stuff. And it messes up the money. There's just nobody has time for that, man. Dry bar is the best way to go about doing anything.
Yeah.
If you keep the bar dry, it keeps your liquor costs and all that stuff to the minimum, and you don't have to worry about those gray areas. But as a bartender and stuff, I don't like dry bars. I mean, it makes the most sense to keep it dry.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I always say, if you have a dry bar, if your bartender's going to drink, they're going to have to sneak it so well that you're not going to catch them. There is not a bar I've ever worked at that people don't drink at the bar. I need you to be good enough where I can't catch you. You know,
Exactly.
that's it. And then
Exactly.
like that. When we have our spot, I think I'll just ask. I always say just ask.
Yeah.
You don't have to sneak. If you sneak, then I might take the privilege away. Just ask me, hey, my friends are here, let me take a shot. So and that way we can monitor it.
I don't think that new hires and people in should be able to even have that privilege yet until they prove themselves and have some type of seniority.
And that you can hold it down.
Yeah.
You know, because maybe after 90 days, just you have to let us know. You have
Yeah.
to see about it because there's only a few people I know. My man Wade,
Yeah.
he worked at Riptide. We call him the bald head assassin. He would black out on the regular. I hope that sounds bad, but we worked at Riptide and this bars. There was different rules there, and he rung everything in. But he'd be all drunk. He'd be like, "Hey, 1 second, I'll be right back." Ring all the stuff in. Functional. He's the only person I know that could do that. The backyard staff in Fells Point, their whole staff was blacked out, but they were also the highest. You saw how small that space was. They were doing numbers. I was like, if you guys didn't black out, you guys would do more. They're like, nah, we got this. Other than those exceptions, I've not seen nobody else do it.
What a lot of people don't understand is also the different type establishments. Like you have speed bars, you have dive bars, craft cocktail bars, which we'll be go visiting all sorts of people. We got some dope footage.
You have your Kyle at Rye. I mean, he can drink by the bar, but he's a professional.
Yeah.
But you cannot be blacked out and make the cocktails that he's making. We got my man Zach lighting stuff on fire. You know what you can't do? You can't be blacked out. And like even when I was trying so hard to get him to take a shot with us, and he was just like, listen, man. He said, don't mess up what I'm trying to do. And I was like, you know what? Touche, Zach. My fault. Poppy. You know what? Yeah, Poppy. My fault, man. And then he lit himself on fire.
Like I said, Barcraft Conversations is really about a fun time letting loose in the industry. And, when you start getting a couple drinks in you, a lot of times real conversations come out. We definitely want to make sure that we capture that and show the good time that's had and also some great fun stories while we built this whole thing. Hospitality and promotion and tourism is one of the things that props up a lot of economies. People actually take their time off of work to come visit the bar.
Everybody does. When schools have sponsors and all that stuff, they go to, they're not going to dive bars, but they're going to your, Ruby Tuesdays or all this stuff where they...
So when you come to celebrate a birthday...
You go to the bars and this, or weddings, after parties, anniversaries. You go to a spot and you're drinking and stuff.
We try to be a happy medium because we want to make sure that everybody who comes with us actually has upward mobility. It's a whole movement. We can't really get into too many specifics on here. But if you really want to find out, you can tap in with us and find out how you can be a part of this movement that we have going on, because it's really about investing our time wisely. It's about building bonds, taking stock in relationships. It's a really heavy thing that if you talk to us and you're interested in investing, you'll understand what that really means. So you really invested time and opportunity into your craft of bartending, which a lot of people don't know, that you didn't go to college for hospitality. You went for
social sciences.
Social science.
I went to play football, but then I was like, you know what? We ain't going to the league. This was an accident. Hopping in the bartending. I just needed a summer job. There was summer break. I was teaching at the time, and my buddy Mick, his cousin was the general manager at Pickles Pub. And I was like, bro, I need work. I need some more money. And he was like, yo, you can come, bar back here for a little bit. And I was like, all right, cool. I come back there, like, you know what? You can't do bar back, but we need a food runner. I said, how much you gonna pay me? Like, $15 an hour? Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Food ran there for a little bit. And they were like, you know what? You move around good, man. Would you be interested in doing bar backing? I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do that. I make my $15 an hour. I'm getting out of here. I appreciate it. I get a free meal. I get half off on everything. They were like, well, I was like, how much they make? He was like, well, our bar back last night made about $600. I said, you made $600?
Yeah.
He said, cool. I was like, how long's a day? Shit was mad long though. Shit was 9 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But $600, $600. I said, cool.
What's that break down an hour? That's good for starting out.
I got a calculator. I don't want to think I'm illiterate. $35.29 an hour. I'm actually really good at math. That's crazy.
It's Barcraft Conversation, bro. I'm not asking you to do rocket science. We drinking and talking shit.
But so they were like, yeah, you should bar back. And so I was like, you know what? I'll do that. Man, It was cool. But when I felt like when I was bar backing, I'm still in pretty good shape now.
Yeah.
But I was in phenomenal. So I was doing stuff backwards, but I was just watching stuff. And like, you know, as a bar back, and I explained this to the bar backs at Pickles, and shout out Rob Rettinger, because he was the GM at the time. And I was reading a book at the time that was like, you know, sometimes you can go and ask your manager and stuff. It's like, how can I be better at what I'm doing? And I sat here and asked him that, and he was like, you know what? He says, and I won't forget this, because he was like, as a bar back, your job is damage control. We'll use an analogy if you're driving a car. If there's any type of traffic, that's because of something you did wrong.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need to see stuff before it happens. So, you know, look at the bottles. So, you know, at the time, this is before we were just crushes and pickle shots and green tea shots. We were actual bar then. He was
Did
like,
y'all have draft beer back then?
yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, food runner. I was a draft runner, then bar back. But yes, we had draft beer at the time. And he's like, you know what? You know, today's going. We look at the crowd. We're doing a lot of vodka today. So you know what you should make sure? You have a backup for vodka.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking. You just touch the bottles. Look.
That's like seeing what's happening in real time.
You have to see how it's going. You know, we're going to do a lot of Orange Crush today, so make sure there's backups. If there's a moment where you're pouring, right? Your bartender's pouring,
Yeah.
and a bottle goes empty. At the time, our bartenders there, they were amazing bartenders, but they could not bend at the knee. They were very spoiled. So if the bottle would come, I would hear, Les! I gotta fucking run over there. Meanwhile, you know, I'm cleaning them throw up, I'm changing kegs.
Oh, man.
That's a big space.
Yeah.
We make a lot of money, but we did a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
And the time it takes them to go get a new bottle, because, you know, it's minutes, you have your busy time. So right now, the time it takes them to go grab a bottle and switch it or go change a keg, we just lost like $80-something right there.
Woo!
Because, you know, no, I'm saying, because it's right there. Like, I can make you a crush right there. Boom, boom. The only
It's a speed bar.
the bartenders need to focus on, if you're a good bar back, is getting money.
Yeah.
They need to be getting drinks, getting money. Getting drinks, getting money.
Because you get tipped out from.
Yes, we get tipped out from them. So we get 20%, whatever, every bar is different, but there we get 20%. They need to just be doing transactions. Anything other than transactions, I'm doing a bad job. I don't need you cleaning stuff. I'm cleaning it. I don't need you running food. I got that.
Yeah.
I don't need you changing trash. You just handle money.
Yeah.
I need you making drinks and accept payment.
Yeah.
And this is before we had handhelds, so they had to turn around, all that stuff. Man, dude, if we had handhelds back then, we'd be retired right now.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's crazy.
That's the job of the bar back.
Yeah.
So then I learned that. I was like, okay, I get that, man. And then they were like, you know what, man? What do you think about serving tables? I was like, you want me to talk to more people? I've always been going to talk to people. So I was like, you know, I think I could do that, but I was content with doing this. So I had to serve some tables.
This is not what you went to school and studied. And
That's not, I wasn't trying to do all that, man.
But you was on the field, so you knew how to run. You know how to run laps around.
Oh, it's a less shift. I make a little bit less. I make less money.
Yeah.
But instead of me working the 17-hour shift now, 4 or 5 hour shift, if that.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not making 600, but I'm making 300, 350.
Still a good day's work.
That's not good, and it's less hours. So I'm going talking to people, and I'm sitting there doing that. You know, it's the experience you're giving people. So you go there, hi, my name's blah blah blah, this that. You go tell a joke. You know, my man Donnie. One of the best servers.
Okay.
He's a dancing guy. He be on there. He be getting it popping and stuff. Yeah, no, he be getting it popping and stuff. He be getting it going over there, man.
I could see that.
I'm a very good server. I'm not the dance guy though. I'm the fun guy. I'll tell you a joke and all this that. You know.
Everybody has a streets and winkers.
But he be going there, he having the whole right side of the bar clapping and shit. And he be just be fucking it up.
His superpower bartending server.
Donnie works at Pickles Pub. Come pull up on him. Good dude. Ray Lewis gave him a shout out on Instagram. Served, switch to that. Less money, but less hours. That was really good. And then they were like, you know what, you're serving pretty good. You know, that's that. Like, you know, how do you feel making some? You still make a few drinks because Pickles like the server's bartend. And that's when they were like, you transition, hop behind the bar. And that's a whole different experience. That was a very long way of saying you had to get one thing to go to the next thing.
Basically working your way up, and you was unlocking these gems that got you to where you are, to the point where you know this industry like the back of your hand.
Doing it for a while now, man.
You like low-key the mayor of the hospitality industry. You really go out into your community and make sure that other people are good. You have actual friends at different establishments that you go to, you pull up, and they pull up on you and vice versa. So many people are just pulling for you just to open up establishment, and they so ready.
They're more hyped than I am sometimes. And I'm hyped about this, but they're just ready to get it going.
Before you talk, we need to take another shot, because we getting into this. We getting into the nitty-gritty.
Soup of the day. Well, at this moment, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Tap Water. You ever been thirsty, you know, and we're inside your house and got water from the tap? Tap water.
Like, this podcast is really going to be just a great time, and I'm just excited. From the Fells Point days till now, we were talking about Barcraft Conversations back then.
The biggest thing that I want people to get from this is we're going to show people the difference of different bars and restaurants in this area and the different type of bartenders, and everybody has a different story of how they're doing things. Some really good friends that are going to help out, and we're going to start the interviews with them. But the goal is hit every bar in the city.
We got merch. It's available. Make sure you get your Barcraft Conversations.